Happy Friday. Today I want to take a break from Colossians 3 to reflect for just a minute on tomorrow, April 17th. That will be the 7th anniversary of the stroke that I suffered, which was on Good Friday 7 years ago. Some people sort of call me or write to me on Good Friday to commemorate it. Sherry and I sort of think about April 17th. So I suffered a SCAD, a spontaneous cerebral arterial dissection. So it's sort of a rare thing, but what happened because of swimming, it was very cold that year. I'd stopped running outside. I'd started swimming distance, and I hadn't ever really done that before. And I wore the left vertebral artery where it comes out of your spine. Because I have sort of genetically a short left vertebral artery, it wore against the bone, it got angry, and it frayed. So the lining in that artery ripped, and then blood started to get in between the linings, and it ballooned out the lining, which led to the stroke. And so I late morning, stood up at my desk here at the church, and felt dizzy. That was likely when it was happening. I didn't think anything of it. Drank some water, thought maybe I was dehydrated. But over the course of the day, I started to get dizzy and other things, thought that I had the flu, and then went home. And so that would then lead to this brain stem stroke, which are very unusual. Most people don't have a brain stem stroke, but it controls all the things you don't think about. So it controls focusing your eyes, swallowing food, feeling temperatures, balance, all of these things that you just sort of have. That's what was taken away, and I, by God's grace, the prayers of God's people, good medical care, I got about 95% of things back. I still have got balance issues and some double vision and other things, but I'm very thankful. And I learned some things. I'm not in the camp that says I'm glad it happened. I'd love to be there. I hear people who have cancer and other things saying, I'm glad this is a blessing. Maybe I should be. We've been talking about the fact that life is fragile and short. We need to be aware of our death. I was surprised. I didn't think I was going to die, although I did at the same time think that I might die. I had a brain injury. I didn't always think very clearly. But I remember thinking, wow, this is really thunder from a blue sky. I did not see this coming at all, and thinking it was pretty odd that I was going to die this way. I learned about grace because I had to be taken care of I couldn't drive for a year, but even in those first days and weeks, being taken care of by nurses, some, but by Sherry and the boys, I was completely helpless. And you just realize how much you depend upon people. Realize how fortunate I was to have a family that would care for me. Wasn't surprised that Sherry stepped up. Little surprised at how well the boys stepped up. That was a great thing. I learned to see people who were hurting that I had not seen before. Once you have the experience of being the person in a wheelchair for, I think, probably for 3 months, or you not being able to drive, you just start to be a little bit more sympathetic with all the other people you realize have been navigating these challenges every day of their life. And I realized one last thing, and I'll end with this. I realized how hard it is to change. And I thought about this. So Sherry and I had shirts made up. Mine said post-stroke Mike, and hers said post-stroke Sherry. And we said we want to be different when we come out of this. And I think in some ways that I definitely did change. And I'm thankful in that sense. But I've thought about this as we come out of the COVID pandemic, that a lot of us thinking we're going to change. And I hope so. I hope we continue to grow. That's the whole sanctification process. But it's hard. It's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to change. And so those are some of the reflections that I have on this 7th anniversary, for which I'm very thankful for the 7 years I've been given, and hopefully more ahead, in which to love and grow and serve. And so I will wish you on this Friday the day before Saturday, which is the actual anniversary. I wish you a happy day and a good weekend. See you on Monday.